I'm Melissa.
And I'm Mike.
Welcome back to True Crime Thursday. Your
Yeah.
favorite host, me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unlike that other guy who shows up on Mondays.
All right, who is he? Where'd you
I don't
find
know.
him?
Yeah,
Oh,
he just knocked on my door and was like,
yeah. He was trying to
"Hey,
sell you internet, and
yeah,
you were like, "Hey, I need to be a little busy. I won't buy your internet, but I do need to be a little busier." So,
yeah. I don't have enough things to do, so I'd like more."
so today we're talking about case updates. Um, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
You start because actually, yeah, you start because I lost my page.
So this first one that I'm gonna talk about, it's kind of fitting because you're gonna be on a cruise, and hopefully this does not happen
Yeah.
to you. But have you heard much about the what's it called, the Hantavirus?
I have heard some stuff about it. Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like the facts that we have on it are kind of changing rapidly. So who knows? By the time this episode comes out, like, hopefully there's not too much negative information about it, but
Right,
there
right.
might be more information about it. So this is just what we have right now, which is that there are currently 3 dead and 7 who have contracted it or are symptomatic.
I actually have a number of 9, so my data
Also, it
may
went
be
up since.
updated slightly. Yeah,
Oh my
and
goodness.
actually, it says at least 9 cases that have been suspected, confirmed, or suspected. So
Well, I also read that there's at least 150 people who were potentially exposed. And what's crazy about this, it's kind of like, bringing back to like COVID days,
right,
um, but because it's obviously passed person to person. And sorry, I'm looking at my notes. So it's contracted through rodent feces, like
yeah,
mice and rats and stuff. So that's interesting to me because this is a luxury cruise ship. Like it's a, no shade to Carnival, but it's not like one of the like lower cruise ships. It's like a more luxury cruise ship, and that's what health officials are even trying to kind of investigate at this point. Like how
right.
if it's contracted through rodent feces, how like do you have to actually eat the rat poop or like drink the
Well,
pee or eat the rats? Like,
that's a good question. I mean, it has to get into your body somehow. The one thing I read said that they think that the first victim, who was a Dutchman,
mhm.
got it while he was bird watching in South America. Um, so he was off the ship. He wasn't on the ship at the time.
Like
And
at
it was
like
before he
port stop.
actually, yeah, no, this was actually before he boarded the ship.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then it spread to other people from there. Yeah.
He got
So
it bird watching.
he got it bird watching. Yeah. That's what they said. I mean, maybe I don't know, he put his sandwich down and there was rat poop. I can't imagine. I can't. I hope more details will come out on how he got it so we can avoid those things.
No, I guess okay. This it doesn't make sense to me personally. It's not something that I can ever a situation I can see myself in. But I can, I guess, see like if somebody is outside, like this is how they say a lot of kids get like certain like viruses or illnesses or whatever. Like say you're outside, I guess, and you touch something that has rat feces on it and then you don't wash your hands and you
Yeah,
like
that could be. That could be. If you
pick your
just have
nose.
well, that was a big thing right during COVID was they were just telling people, "Hey, wash your hands all the time," and that kind of thing. And so it was just basically to me, "Hey, practice good hygiene habits because then you might not get sick." But
Yeah.
I take it that once it's been contacted by a human, and I haven't read enough on it to know this for sure. Um, but well, actually, this says the virus is the Andes strain, which is native to South America. it
Yeah.
is unique among hantaviruses because it's the only strain known to be capable of human to human transmission through
Mm-hmm.
prolonged close contact. So that to me says that it becomes airborne then. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you
which
know,
becomes even more
if it's
dangerous.
right, right, because they're not talking about people who were, I don't think he was making out with other people on the cruise. I don't know what kind of a cruise it was, so maybe he was, but um, you know, that would tell me that it has to be like, he was coughing and particles were coming out, that kind of thing.
Well, and on a cruise, you guys are kind of in like tight quarters
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, and it says it has a 40% mortality rate
yeah, which
and
is
literally starts
crazy.
shutting down your organs.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy
Um,
that these things exist still that are that deadly.
yeah, right? Like a 40% mortality rate is kind of crazy. There's also, I believe, where is it? Like 23 different countries also, like people from 23 different countries all on the cruise. So
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
like that's where, man, like they're basically forcing the ship to not dock. It's literally stuck
right,
out in the Atlantic Ocean right now. And you know, that sucks so bad, but at the same time with people from literally all over the world, 23 different countries, um, not to make myself sound dumb, but like I couldn't even rattle off 23 different countries right now if you
yeah.
made me.
Oh,
So,
well, our podcast is viewed in like 40 some now. I don't know if I told you that. The last time I looked, it was in the 40s. So
yeah, so okay.
it's might be some of those.
I'll have to go through them.
Yeah,
So, to educate myself. So, but yeah, like I just 23 different countries on the cruise ship, like that's all of those people going back to their homes, and yeah, I guess that's
right.
how pandemics start,
Well,
right?
there have been some cases too of people who aren't there anymore, who got off the ship and were in other places now too, that have
Oh,
like contracted it from other people. I don't know. I don't understand how these things keep happening. Like, how have we not at this point figured out a way to not have these things happen? You
I
know?
mean, I guess that it makes sense if he had it beforehand. They're not testing you for. Remember during COVID though, how I remember like I was working at an in-office job around that time, like in the beginning of COVID when it first happened,
Right.
and they were checking your temperature like when before you even were able to
Oh
come in
yeah,
the office, and my
yeah.
my
Remember
like
they
our
did?
office manager had the little thing like
Yeah, they
boop.
did that at Disney too. Remember, you'd go into Disney and they'd point the thing at your forehead before
my
they'd let you in.
fever's too high and like I gotta go
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, yeah, this one's going to be interesting. And I mean, of course, you think back to COVID, to the coronavirus, and how there's still questions about where that came from. Like, was it something that was developed in a lab? I mean, there's no question of that here, I don't think,
Yeah,
because they do know where it came from. But then again, back when that originally happened, they said it came from what an exotic food
a
market.
bat.
So
I thought it
a
was like a
bats.
bat.
Yeah, it was a bat thing that somebody bought at an exotic food market in China or something. But that
Hmm.
turns out to not be the case, I don't think anymore. So, yeah, well, I'll be interested to hear, what else comes out about that. Because I mean, this isn't in line completely with True Crime Thursday, but it kind of could be if it turns out that this was, that there was some kind.
You know,
The
death
theories will be out there.
investigations.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's also just so crazy too. Like, I don't know, anytime something like tragic happens in general, obviously, yeah, it's sad, but like something tragic happening when you're just trying to have a vacation. I don't know if you saw, but there's like a guy, I think he is from America, because there are a few Americans on there,
Yeah.
but he came out and he made like a YouTube video, or I think it was a YouTube video or a TikTok or something like that, and he's
Mm,
on the cruise and he was talking about like what's going on, and he seemed so
yeah.
scared, and I can't imagine being somebody on that cruise right now, like you don't even know if you have it. You could have it, and
Right,
like,
right.
oh my gosh, what do I do? I just lock myself in my cabin. Like I have no
Yeah,
food here to eat. Like I don't want to venture out there and go get food. Like that has to
right.
be just such a scary, chaotic
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Oh, I'm reading some more. And this is what I'd heard before. Um, that the other people that they think got it were on, I think, a commercial flight with the guy who, was bird watching. Um, so that's why there are some people that weren't involved in the cruise that also had it. So, and it also says
So
here that, I guess it's currently en route actually to the Canary Islands, where Spanish authorities have agreed to let the vessel dock under strict quarantine protocols. So we'll see what comes out of that. If they're, I guess
so
it's still going to be quarantined, but they're going to actually let it dock.
so the bird watching guy, he was one of them that passed away.
Um, Well, here's what this says. It says authorities in South Africa and the UK are conducting extensive contact tracing, particularly for passengers who were on a commercial flight from St. Helena to Johannesburg with the woman who later died. WHO
Mm.
has emphasized that while the mortality rate for the strain is high, close to 50%, um, the risk to the general public remains very low, as the virus requires very close, sustained contact to spread between people. So I guess like being on an airplane for a long flight might qualify as that. Where if you're just walking through, Target and somebody has it, you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
stay tuned.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stay
So
tuned.
one of them that I wanted to give an update on, this is a case that we already talked about, was the USF murder case. There were
Mm-hmm.
very recent updates on that. The gosh, I lost my notes, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really try hard, but some days I just have too many things going on. Uh, May 7th, the perpetrator, whose name I have here somewhere, but he was roommate Hisham. I'm going to mispronounce it anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Hisham Abu ah, every time Abu Garbe, that's what it was. um he was actually charged with murder. The grand jury that he was brought in front of charged him, or yeah, with 2 counts of first degree murder. So he's actually been charged now. He is in jail with no bond. And they a day after that, May 7th, that was May 8th, which was today. Ooh, this is very well, this episode is going to air later than that, but as of May
Oh,
8th, um, he was, the prosecutors announced that they are going to be seeking the death penalty on this case. So that was a question we had last time. So
yeah.
he has been officially charged, and yeah, and I think it said that the preliminary hearing, it's like within the next week. I think there's going to be a preliminary hearing. So that's another one. Stay tuned, but they are seeking the death penalty in that case. So I thought you
Good.
had another one that you had an update on.
Yes, I do. I sure do have an update. Um, so my update is on the David or D4VD case.
Right. I
Um,
got just to pause on that.
yeah.
Someone in this house who's familiar with that, when I kept referring to him as D4VD, they made fun of me and said it's David. But I said, well, that's the way it is. It's not spelled David. So, you know.
I'm hearing a lot of other people refer to him as D4VD. I know you're not supposed to like say, I don't know, like did he want to be called David or did he want to be called DV? DV,
Yeah.
D4VD. I don't really care what
Yeah.
he wanted to be called because he was a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to
Uh,
purposely call him whichever of those he didn't want to be called.
which is probably D4VD.
Right.
But that's funny. So I guess I will just say David. I'm just gonna say David now because we're not gonna use
Okay.
stage names anymore. Um, so yeah, D4VD. Um, so obviously they're going through with the trial right now, and there have been the court docs obviously have been released, and kind of the prosecution side, they also are coming out with a bunch of their information, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper today. Like, I don't know
Wow.
if yeah, because I had
That's
to take like real notes, and I don't know about you, but I just can't. I try to use my notes app, but I don't know. I'm an old-fashioned girly. I like using a pen and paper
the problem
sometimes.
is when I use one of the apps to do it, even if I use like Word, is I'll save the
hmm
document somewhere then, but then when I go to find it, I can never find it. Where paper, it's harder to lose. But continue. Sorry.
I just don't. I like reading my own handwriting, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like reading on a screen.
Got you.
Call me a boomer, but I like writing it down. So, so yeah, his text messages between Celeste were released, and I don't know if you remember, but earlier on when we were talking about the case, they had already assumed like it was that she was going to try and expose him in some way. They also, when they raided his house, they collected a bunch of digital digital evidence,
Hmm.
and now we are finally, since the trial's going on, we're finally finding out what all that digital evidence was. And
Right.
I say it every time on here, you can't erase a digital footprint. It doesn't matter how slick you think you're being. And like I'll get into like, kind of what he thought in terms of, I don't know if he thought he was being slick at all. Like he left literally the full evidence in his car. So I don't think he was trying to
Yeah,
be that hidden, but
that's true.
um so this is also where the special circumstance evidence comes from. That is kind of why um he could get the death penalty.
Right.
When we were saying like the lying in wait charge, this
Right.
is where the lying in wait charge comes from, right here. So on April 22nd, they had an argument in text message. It was basically her threatening to ruin his career and his life, and then like end his career, ruin his life, all of that, because this was a young 13-year-old girl. She probably thought it was more serious with him than he was like 20 or something like that, way too old to be
Right.
talking to a 13-year-old. She probably thought this relationship was everything, and he was playing games. So
Right.
she threatened to ruin his life and end his career in the chat, in the text message. And then on April 22nd or 23rd, the day after their argument, he invited her to come over to his house, and he even ordered her an Uber to bring her from her house to his house. Um, this was at 10:10 p.m.
Okay.
So 20 minutes later, after the text about her going over there, he had texted her asking where she was. Now, this is where he kind of tried to play games on basically trying to set himself up to, oh no, I didn't know where she was. I had nothing to do with her that night.
Oh, okay.
However, this is where the digital footprint comes in of the Uber evidence of drop off. He orders her an Uber. Uber says, I dropped her off. I think there were also
Yeah.
like security cameras and things like that as well. So, yeah, he was kind of dumb for that as well.
Well,
But
yeah, because that's what I was thinking is that goes back to the digital footprint. Like he ordered it, so it's tied to him. He picked her up, so it's tied to her. And I'm sure, when you have an Uber, I thought there was special things though when it's picking up a minor, isn't there?
yeah, I think so as well.
Like
But
it
I
has
could
to
be
be.
wrong.
I don't know. Yeah, but continue that. But
Um,
that's part of it too. Like there's another piece of the digital footprint.
I guess like to that as well, it kind of shows like calculated and premeditation and all that
Right,
stuff as well. Like he's trying to like stage a cover story. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So, yeah, he texted her asking where she was 20 minutes later. Prosecutors do say that by then, not only was she presumed to already be there at his house, again by the evidence of the Uber, but they also assume that she was already dead by then,
Wow, wow.
within
Okay,
20 minutes of arriving
so
to
he
his
was
house.
so he was after the fact trying to build the cover story, even though
He had already killed
he'd
her.
already left evidence and already killed her. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's insane.
So
Literally insane.
So then this is when it also they're based on the timeline that they put together. They have a few follow it up texts. So argument on the 22nd, she was killed on the 23rd, and then everything went quiet after the 26th, April 26th. Um, everything went quiet after April 26th. He did send a few follow-up texts between like the 23rd and the 26th, like again, trying to set up a whole his own little like I don't know, staging
Alibi. Yeah.
moment. Yeah. Um then he also started ordering things. This is also from the digital evidence. He started ordering things under a fake name, but like delivered to his address. He was very, young and dumb.
Yeah.
Fake name, but to your address. Like,
Yeah,
okay, you
that
probably
and
should have
that
used a fake address too, but
yeah,
what do I
also.
know?
Right. How about just deliver it to an Amazon locker if you're going to use a fake name,
Right.
you know?
Um, Yeah, so on the 24th, he had a shovel delivered. On May 1st, he had two chainsaws delivered. And on May 5th, he had a body bag delivered. And so, again, I don't know if he thought he was smart spreading out the deliveries or if
Yeah.
that's just when they came, or
See,
if,
I think anytime you order a body bag to have it delivered to your home, there should be that should immediately include a visit from the police. Like it should just be like,
I,
all right, we're just
yeah,
going to schedule that police visit.
right.
Like,
Just want to
like,
do a wellness check.
yeah, like,
It's delivered
there's,
by a police officer. How about that?
yeah,
Like a
there we
hands
go.
to me delivered
There we go.
by a police
Yeah,
officer.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think like when you order like just like a group of suspicious items within like a certain time frame, I think there should be a like
yeah,
some kind of alarm bell. You should be put on some kind of list. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
But he also had, so outside of those three like, major items that point directly to him. Um I think that there was also I forgot to write that down, but there was also like heavy duty storage bags and just random things like that as well that kind of lead to you know, bad activity. And then
Right.
also when they were searching, I think it was his yard, um they had found basically one of those things that you can like cremate people in,
Oh,
which,
wow.
just your average person usually doesn't just have that at their house. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it's
So
not. It's not. Again, and that coupled with the body bag should have been, somebody should have seen what was
now,
going on there.
obviously, like we know it's him.
Right.
What's the word? Allegedly, but I also feel that maybe the defense, because like was it stupid of him to put it under a different name and like have it delivered to his address? To me it is, but I also feel like the defense might have a case. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that,
Right.
but
Right.
could they also argue like no, but that's how do we know he ordered it under a fake name?
Right.
How do we know that somebody else didn't go on his computer and order
That's
it
true.
in their name because it's not shipped to his house under his name?
Right. Right.
So,
Also, though, to flip that around, though, if you were going to try to set him up, you would order it in his name if you're another person, right?
true. Oh, true.
Mm. Wow.
So yeah, that's the updates I have on that case so far is, there's definitely a lot more information that has
Hmm.
come out on that case and is continuing to come out, but that's definitely
Right.
the information that has come out that is where his
And
death
like the one
penalty
we,
charge came
yeah,
from.
yeah, and like the one we just talked about, because these are ongoing cases, we'll be having more updates as those are appropriate. And one other one that's kind
Yeah.
of an in process case, that there haven't been a lot of updates on, but
Mhm.
there were a few like recently that I haven't seen a whole lot of information on. Is the Nancy Guthrie disappearance?
Oh.
Um, yeah. One thing that's kind of crazy is this was just yesterday, actually.
Mhm.
A live streamer discovered bones near the Craycroft Bridge in Tucson, which is about 15 minutes from Nancy Guthrie's home. Um, they examined those bones and found that they were human, but they were prehistoric. So they were not anything related to the case. So
Prehistoric, what does that mean?
that means they're like, I mean, not dinosaur bones because they're human bones, but they're like very old bones.
Yeah,
They're
but
things that anthropologists should be looking at.
that's confusing to me because how does a random streamer just was he digging or like how does he find
No idea.
prehistoric but like obviously I know what prehistoric is but that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying like what like caveman bones like
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I
basically
mean?
that's
How
what's,
did
yeah,
someone not find those before? How does a random
you
streamer just find that?
maybe I mean, if they were under a bridge, they're near water, maybe nobody, I don't know. All the information I have is that when I first saw that headline on, I think it
Yeah.
was a USA Today article, um, I was like, wait, what? How has this not been? Because it just said that they found human bones. And I was like, oh, well. And
Yeah.
then, you go into it and it's like, yeah, you got me again with the clickbait because it was
Right.
just,
Someone
the
just got
prehistoric
paid for
bones.
you clicking that link.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, this live streamer, I mean, I don't know. Is he like walking around Tucson looking for evidence? I don't know. I haven't seen it much on that. But
Right.
they are currently looking at DNA evidence, I guess, that they found on the front porch and that glove that was recovered, which I thought they had already ruled out. But and the preliminary analysis of blood patterns on the porch, they're now saying suggests that it was a single kidnapper. And then another weird one that came out on that, there's ring camera footage from April 29th of this year, like, so that's, a week and a half ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Showed a masked individual stealing plants in the neighborhood. Um, and I don't know if it's tied to it, don't know if it's the same person. They're just pointing out that it's interesting because of the whole thing we saw on her ring camera video where he pulled the plant out and tried to use it to, I don't know,
Oh
hide his
yeah.
face or whatever he was trying to do with that. So yeah, if I lived in that neighborhood, I'd be watching for that guy because that's kind of crazy. Like, who steals plants?
That is really random. Someone that's trying to make their house look nicer, but like not in this economy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It could be. And of course you're wearing a mask because you don't want to, you
Right.
like go to work and they're like, "Oh, that's Tom. Yeah, he was stealing people's plants." You got to cover your face for that. So,
All fun and games until you drive past his house and are like, wait a minute,
yeah, yeah.
those
But
are my flowers.
yeah.
Um,
Somebody just took those from me.
but
Other than
at the
that though,
same,
no new updates on that
I
case.
was gonna say like they, I really haven't heard anything about
Yeah.
that case at all. I don't, I almost feel like I don't know if they're behind the scenes trying to do some things, but I would be very
Right.
frustrated if I was, Savannah and the rest of the family because um I
Yeah,
don't
it
know. I
seems.
just feel like how do you have no trace of anything really?
I, I was reading another article. It wasn't really an update article, but it was talking about, one of the early on theories that I had heard about that case was that they think she might have been like taken into Mexico because
I heard that too.
not that far from the U.S. Mexico border. Um, and
Mhm.
the thing is saying that the local police may have kind of played down that possibility because they didn't want, because that would have opened the door more, I guess, for the federal, law enforcement to get involved, like the FBI and that.
Mhm.
Which, if that's true, and they did that because out of a control thing versus trying to actually solve the case. That's really terrible. But
Yeah.
that's speculation. So you can't, do with that what you will.
There was that one medium on TikTok or Instagram that I saw who she was saying that she Nancy Guthrie was talking to her and said that her body is in Mexico. So,
Wow. Well, again, take that for what it's worth.
yeah. So, I mean, hopefully eventually they do find out more about that. I don't know. Personally, I think that's a little crazy because I don't know, in my opinion, I feel like if you're an investigator, I don't know. I don't understand how you don't have any trace, how nobody in the neighborhood that night has any kind of ring camera footage because it's a nice neighborhood that she was in.
Right.
Um, Nobody has any kind of ring camera that you saw him going past at all.
Right.
You don't see any stores. I mean, it was late at night where it's not like there's a bunch of traffic to
Right.
get in the way and follow. Like there's
Yeah, I
no
think
there's
there
no
I
store footage that he went by or
right.
you know what I
I
mean?
think there was some footage from someone else's ring camera around that time of night that showed like a car or a truck or something go past. But the other thing is like on her camera, you couldn't see a vehicle or anything that he pulled up in. The what they did release, it was just that,
Oh yeah.
segment of him going up to the door. So like where was he and what did he do when he left the residence? Like just I don't know. I don't know. I hope for the family's sake that they solve this thing, at some point. But I feel like the longer away from it gets, barring somebody finding something, that does kind of expose what happened, I think it's going to be another one of these ones that, next year we're talking about and they still haven't solved.
Yeah. I agree.
So right, well, those are some case updates for this week. I hope you found some of that information useful, and if you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you didn't, like and subscribe anyway, because maybe next time you will find something useful.
True. I like that, Dad. Good job.
All right, bye guys.
Bye everybody.